Chapter 1074. Wilbur waved a hand. Come on and sit down. Don't get too emotional here. You need to believe that Mr. Forsyth will keep his promise. I believe him. I haven't got a shred of doubt in me. Wesley wiped his tears, sitting down as his chest warmed with emotions. He knew that none of this would have happened without Wilbur. The divine general was truly a force to be reckoned with, and he was even more powerful than the rumors made him out to be. Wesley raised his glass, and the three men had a drink together before Mark started chatting with Wilbur. Wesley did his best to calm down, dining on some of the food at the table as he listened intently to the conversation. To Wesley, these two men were immensely powerful. Wesley felt like his life would change if he were to understand what these two men were talking about. Everyone had a few more drinks, and Wilbur said, "Well, the Department of Paranormal Research and Defense won't get involved with this. You can handle the case on your own." Mark heaved a sigh of relief at once, nodding profusely. If the Department of Paranormal Research and Defense were to get involved, that would mean that North Seacher would be informed of the case as well, which would be terrible for Mark. Wilbur's words made him relax a great deal. Wilbur then said, "But Vale and the others need to be dealt with. A big shift is coming for the Exodus province of business industry." "You're absolutely right. We need to be careful about this," Mark said, nodding solemnly. Wilbur smiled. "How about this? Have you heard of Cape International before?" "Yes, of course I have. It's the biggest consortium in all of Carden Province, and quite reputable around the country too," Mark smiled. Wilbur nodded. "Well, how about you let Cape become an investor, joining forces with the government to take care of the mess that's been left behind? You'd have a much easier time dealing with things that way, and Cape would benefit from this as well. What do you think?" Mark slapped the table in enthusiastic approval. "I didn't know you had ties to Cape too, Mr. Penn. That's a wonderful suggestion. I couldn't agree more with it." Mark seemed overjoyed. This was a win-win for both parties. It was important to note that after Vale and the others were sentenced, the Exodus province business industry was bound to take a hit. Cleaning up the mess left behind would take a large amount of capital, which would put a lot of pressure on the government for sure. With Cape as an investor, that problem would be solved with nothing much left to worry about. Besides, Wilbur was also a member of the Department of Paranormal Research and Defense. Mark was more than happy to have connections to such a department, and this seemed like the perfect solution. Wilbur smiled at Mark's approval. "You've got a deal then. Someone from Cape will be here soon to talk about it in depth with you. I'll be sure to see to it personally, don't you worry." Mark let out a booming laugh, clinking glasses with Wilbur. Wesley's mind was racing then. He had truly seen it all now. That had seemed like such a casual conversation, but the two men had just resolved the provincial business industry and the fate of its economy. In comparison to that, Vale and the others were hardly anything. All they were good for was abusing their power to steal from the less powerful to reach their goals. Unlike these men, who had gotten to a solution over some friendly banter. After that, Wilbur and Mark moved on to chat about more trivial things. Wesley understood as well that everything had been settled now. Everything else would be handled by the other people assigned to these tasks. This was what true power looked like, and Wesley was overwhelmed with emotion to witness it. He would never have ended up here if he even had a tenth of Wilbur's power, or perhaps even just 1/100th of it. An hour and a half passed in no time, and the meal neared its end.